Hi, I'm Shay,
And I'm Shealyn.
and this is Shay's Scare Lounge. Today we are venturing off of our road trip and doing a flyby over to North Dakota for the Leprechaun for St.
For
Patrick's
St.
Day.
Patrick's, we're
Gonna
we're in the
celebrate
spirit.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, I hadn't seen this movie in a long time.
In
I
a
think
very
maybe
long
I
time.
watched it. Yeah, and I know you said you didn't like it, right?
No,
I
I
liked
liked
it.
it. It's an it's a
It's
super
funny.
cheesy, super. I think it's what Jennifer Aniston's first movie.
Yeah, and she denies it actually. Like she tries to pretend it didn't exist, which to me, like, shame on her for that because you got to start somewhere. And
Right.
this is the worst horror movie. I mean, it has 7 sequels, so it can't be that
Oh my
terrible.
God. Yeah, I know. I just saw that. Like, I was like, how many Leprechaun movies are there? Too many. There are too
Yeah,
many. That is what that
but
is about.
they're entertaining. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it. Warwick Davis is incredible. The movie was supposed to be more serious. I think the director wanted that, but when he was cast, he kind of gave it the more horror comedy campy vibe, and they went with that, and it worked. I think it's very funny. Like he's like licking his lips and he does all the weird like aha, like he's so good at his little tricycle, like
You like the roller skate scene that you love so much.
oh my gosh, I was like, it's me on the skates, because he did most of his own stunts in this. They were saying, so the wheelchair was very difficult. I can't even do a wheelchair, but hopefully I don't have to. But yeah, so that was a struggle for him, and the roller skates, but he looked like he was a natural on skates. Also the pogo stick kill, great. How he just
some
murdered
of the kills
jumping
were
on
a
him.
little far fetched. I felt. I was like,
Of
what?
course. I mean, yeah, the whole premise I think is far fetched. Like, okay, in the beginning, where is that old couple from? They're from Ireland. Is that where they're
I
supposed to be
think
from?
so. I think so. I don't know why you retired and went to North Dakota, but
Yeah, and I
but
felt like
yeah.
it was so strange, and that seemed like it was like 20 years ago, not 10 years ago. It
I
jumps
know.
forward.
Like it's so weird.
It's very odd. I guess they had to keep it that way because they go to look for that guy later, so he would still have to be alive in
Mm-hmm.
theory.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Okay, I guess. Yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense.
but that whole thing threw me off, and then the fact that they're supposed to be driving a Jeep with no doors from California, like that's far, right? Like they drove from LA. Is that her whole complaint?
Well, her whole complaint was she wanted to be in LA. I don't know if they drove from LA or
Okay,
if he
because
picked her
that
up
would
from the
make no
airport.
sense. Yeah,
Um,
that would make more sense, but then it seemed like he hadn't been to the house yet. I don't know. It was very odd. And then where's she getting all this money? Like, isn't that her
yeah,
dad? When she's
yeah.
like, I'll pay for the motel. Isn't that his money? Like,
Or
I don't.
maybe it's her mom. Maybe they're split up. That's why he's
Yeah,
like
no, it seemed like, yeah, definitely. Or the mom passed or something. Maybe left her a big life insurance settlement.
inheritance
I
or
don't know.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, because she's like, is this New Mexico? Like, if she doesn't know that that's not New Mexico, she's got other issues. Um, Amazing fashion though throughout. I
Hmm.
love all her clothes. I would wear all those outfits. You know that her LA gear shoes. They
Right.
get a lot of screen time
They
actually.
do. Like you're got a lot of screen time in this movie. There are so many weird things about this movie, but I'm looking at it going, I'm recognizing certain people. Obviously, Warwick Davis is amazing. Love him in this and Willow
Hello.
and I just love Warwick Davis, just period. He's just
Yeah,
awesome. And so Jennifer Aniston, I just want to smack in the face from the very beginning of the movie. I'm just like, I don't even like you, but now there's a cute guy with a butt. So you're gonna stare at him and be like, no, I can do anything. No, you can't.
yeah,
Shut up. Fucking shut up.
yeah. I didn't know if she liked him so much as she wanted to prove she wasn't like a city girl, but at the same time, like just own it and be like, yeah, I don't want to live in a place with spiders and crap. Like, I'd rather
Right.
be somewhere nicer.
Like
Like,
I
why
think
you
at
don't have to
first
prove
it
yourself to
was
this
I need to
stranger?
prove that I'm not a city girl or whatever. But
Yeah,
then it was like,
she's
well,
like,
he's cute, so I'm not gonna leave.
yeah, she's like painting the slowest paint job I've ever seen. Like they're never gonna finish that
And why
house
is
in
it
the rain.
blue?
Like
Like, why are you painting this random
blue and
house
red or something.
like dark royal blue. Like what? Who chose this
Yeah.
color?
I mean, I would choose that color, but no, would do green. Also, they had like terrible paint stickers. I don't know if you noticed that on them. Like it wasn't even paint. It was like you could see the lip. It was so weird.
Well, you know.
But
It
this
seems-
was like this movie had $1 million budget. Like it was Trimark's
Hmm.
first feature film. Like this movie didn't. It had a budget. That's a really good budget for a campy horror film. And I think it ended up making what 8.6 million. So it made money, and it
Well,
spawned
what
all the sequels.
did they
So
spend the money on then? I'm curious.
yeah,
Because
his
was
makeup probably.
it was
Warwick Davis
probably
makeup.
Warwick Davis and
He
makeup.
was
Yeah,
in the chair. Like what does it say? It says like 3 hours a day he did makeup for that on his face and body and everything. Like special effects makeup is expensive. Well, the
yeah.
artist.
So the whole $1 million went to Warwick Davis's makeup because nothing else in this
and the
movie
gold
was.
coins, those are real.
Are they real?
No,
Because
the
I
fact
don't
that
know.
that guy eats one is so ridiculous. Like Ollie or what's his name,
Au-
Ozzy.
Ozzy. Yeah, Ozzy,
Yeah,
who's supposed to be, has a mental handicap
Yeah,
in parts of it or whatever. I don't know, because he seemed rather intelligent in other moments of
yeah.
the movie.
He
I
knew
was
what was
like,
going on. The town just wrote him
right.
off that way.
I was
Yeah.
like, is it just because you're childlike? Because I'm confused on this one. Like,
Yeah, is it because you're not a butthole? Like that's why they don't think so. Yeah, when the kid brings up like, oh, we're gonna get a surgery to fix your brain, I was like, what have they taught this kid? But then he reveals later he knows there's no surgery. I was like, okay, good. I was like, I'm worried about this kid. If he thinks like they can get a lobotomy or something and fix his head, I'd be very worried. Like I said, she denies this movie. They wrapped filming in 91 and it didn't come out till 93. So she hadn't done Friends yet, but she was about to. I think that came out in 94 or something. You know, I hate that show. But
I know, I
they
like
wait
to make
so
references
long.
to it just to annoy you.
And I'm like, ugh. I get more annoyed that I understand the references sometimes. But because I'm like, why do I even know that? I despise that show. But
I do it.
yeah, so they did. There was such a gap through 91, 93, obviously, because they wanted to really like promote film. And I was trying to find it and I couldn't, but apparently there was like a Domino's campaign. So we're gonna have to do some deep research. There was Domino's promo, Subway, and something else. Not Lucky Charms. Lucky Charms pulled out. General Mills would not. At first they were into it. They signed on, they said, yeah, we'll do a funky cameo in it, when you grab stuff. But you notice it's called Lucky Clover in the movie because once they saw the cut, they were like, no, we will not approve that at all. So
because they're children's cereal. They can't approve that.
Yeah, and he eats it and he's like, bleh. He's like rude about it. And then at the end, the kid was originally he was gonna say your luck just ran out, like the poster.
Like the poster says, yeah.
Yeah. But instead, I think he says something like, fuck you, Lucky Charms.
Fuck you, Lucky Charms.
So that came into play after General Mills pulled out.
It's like the only time they have a cuss word in the movie. It's like when the kid does the slingshot.
Well, similar to how, in Scream, they added in, like, absolutely no thanks to that school that pulled out a production.
Right.
This line came about, like, well, screw you then. We're not going to publish your cereal.
Exactly.
Which I think would have been funny. Like, I know the leprechauns on that cereal are so, like, wholesome, but how great would it be to have, like, the Warwick Davis leprechaun on your cereal for, like, a month?
That's not frightening at all.
I'd be like, yay, as a kid.
Yeah, you and me, we'd be like, look at how cool. And then, as a child would think it's funny.
What's my other thing? Oh, that song, that like 4-leaf clover song that plays throughout the movie. I was like, enough. Like, we get it. And I'd never heard, is that an old myth? Like, I know the
4-leaf clover, or?
Yeah, but is it like that's how you defeat a leprechaun, or did they make that up for this?
I think they made that up.
Okay. Because I was like, I never heard of that. I know they're supposed to be good luck if you find them. But...
Right. I just think they made that up because how do you defeat a leprechaun? Really, you're just supposed to give him his gold and he's supposed to go away, which essentially was supposed to happen, but Ozzy ate the coin.
I know. Like, how did he was biting into it, and then all of a sudden it's like down his throat? Like, really, dude, he's hungry, I guess.
Have you not accidentally swallowed something? Like you haven't, and you take a breath and
No,
air
I have
catches it.
never.
That
That
happens.
doesn't happen.
It does happen. It happens. Whatever.
That does not happen.
It
I mean,
happens,
you
man.
don't take
Weird
a bite
things
like,
happen.
in the front of your mouth. You're not like, you're not sucking on it. I understand. I choked before and almost died, but like
Yeah. Okay. Maybe he's like put the whole goddamn thing in his mouth and like, nom, nom.
to bite it. I don't know. Yeah. Either way, it seems a little far fetched that he swallows it. So, the extreme, like, whoa.
Yeah, but then
Uh,
why couldn't she just wait to poop it out, man?
That's
It
what I
would
was
come
thinking.
out.
I thought it was gonna go there in the movie. Like, we're gonna wait for his poop. Come out.
Well, of course not. We're not waiting for it because then the
Also,
leprechaun just wants
yeah.
to gut him.
Oh, yeah, good call. But also, like, let it go. 1 coin out of 100. Like, dude, quit.
Well, that's also where he gets his magical powers from.
Oh.
When he
But
starts
still,
collecting his
kill the
coins
one.
back, then
Yeah.
he starts becoming more powerful. Although, what other than like your voice, like in other
What else was he
places, and
doing?
what else can you do, man? Because I didn't see you doing a
Yeah.
whole lot of magical stuff.
I think he was able to just like transport himself. Because remember, he's like all of a sudden in the fridge and stuff. Like
Okay,
he in
then yeah. Okay.
So maybe that part and his voice, which the voice is a pretty good one because he fools a lot. He's like calling us the cop, and then when he's the old lady in the beginning, like
Mhm.
it's pretty tricky.
Yeah, I mean, and then, some of this was rather on the far-fetched side because there was no.
Leprechaun, it's a movie.
But I mean, like, what gets me is they're in this house and they're like, well, the person who used to own this had him in a crate, so maybe that's how they kept him there. And then, how does she just automatically know? She's never been to this town before. How does she just know where things are?
You
She's
mean like the 4-leaf clover?
I'm just gonna drive to the old people's home, and I'm just gonna find this room.
Yeah, I think
Like,
oh no, somebody mentions it to her. They say the dude's name.
well, right, the
Yeah, but I
Nathan
know what
or
you mean
whatever
about,
his name is, the good-looking
Dan
dude.
O'Grady. Dan
He
O'Grady.
mentions it.
Oh, that
and-
guy. Beefcake.
Yeah, beefcake guy. So he mentions it, and she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go. I'll be right back." And I was like, "Who gave you directions? Like, how'd you go?
She's from LA. She knows. She has a portable. She's like, my portable for the phone. I
My
love that.
portable,
I think
not
that's
even
what
like my
mom
cell
still calls
phone,
it. Yeah.
or my mobile, but my portable.
Because that's what people call it. My mom and like my grandparents will still be like, "You're portable." I'm like, what? But yeah,
No, I love
mobile
it.
phone.
I love
Do
it.
you have the channel changer, the remote? There's always like different things in all
But I
generations.
laugh at a lot of this stuff because it's very campy. And then it got worse over like the 5 million sequels that came along with this. Leprechaun 2, Leprechaun. I think he got more campy and more cheese as as the Nightmare on Elm Street does,
Because they see
Leprechaun
that
in
worked.
space.
I mean, it did really well. Oh my gosh. Well, they actually the most recent one was only 4 years ago, so that's wild to me. Leprechaun Returns or something,
Right, 2018, yes. But I don't think that's Warwick Davis, though.
No, I don't think so. But I mean, it's still part of the franchise.
And then there's the Origins, which is a 2014, which I think is a whole new one. And the Warwick Davis isn't in that one. That's like a whole new generation.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I mean, it's been.
And then
when did it come out? Oh, 93. Yeah. Of course, I think that's 10 years ago.
It's
know.
Because we're old.
Yeah,
we're old.
That's almost 30 years ago. That's wild. It was I forgot to say it was based on a 30s comic book of the same name. And so it actually spawned a comic book series, a horror comic that came out in 2009 or something.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Which again, I think was only 10 years ago. Which it was 13. Not that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago, but then it's like, oh. You forget.
Then I think of where I was in 2009, and I'm like, what? But yeah, I don't know how many leprechauns do you have?
You know what? It's campy, it's cheesy, and it's Warwick Davis. I'm gonna go 4 out of 5.
Oh wow!
I know. And it's only I would not do this for any of the sequels. This is just this one. It's a one-time shot.
Yeah, it's hard because part of me wants to say 4 as well. because it's very what like I would recommend it to people. I would tell them, and yes, I agree. I'm only rating this one. I haven't seen the other ones, or if I have, they were like on in the background. So I think I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. I think it was very, true to itself and great campy fucking.
Yeah, it's campy, it's cheesy. I mean, it's what you expect. Like you go in going, I don't expect a whole lot. And that's what you get. So, I mean, I will say like some of the scenes bothered me a great deal, like when the dude randomly steps on a bear trap or
And how does she know how to open the bear trap too? She like did it pretty easily. I was
or
like,
how do
what?
you know you're clearly like a little city girl who doesn't know how to do anything. How is it that you now know first aid? I don't quite understand
I was wondering that too. I was like,
her
well,
medical
I feel like in
background.
movies, they always it's always on the woman to do that though. Like I think it's like the motherly thing or whatever that's supposed to be innate in all women. I'm aware, but I feel like that's why she was bandaging them all up, I guess.
Or when I've got to ease your button off, like little weird things that I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, okay. That's my one beat is like the dad. So they hear the cat meowing, which is actually the leprechaun, and the dad just reaches his hand to this tree hole. See, I'm like, why would you?
First of all, the cat's not in trouble. That's not a cat in trouble. Meow.
That's the best scene though. Like he bites his hand, he pulls out, and then it's just Warwick Davis in the hole, like, like he's so ridiculous that I just like laughed for so just like he was so happy that he bit this guy's hand. It was ridiculous. He's fine. He just got bit by a rabid cat, or what do you think?
Yeah, because that totally looked like a cat bite.
Yeah, and also like he thinks that's what was rubbing her leg. I love that though when the guy's like, "And you let me?" Like. Is like concerned.
That's not the point. He's like, no,
such a man. No, like, if you let me, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what a dude would say. So, but that's all I got for you on Leprechaun.
No, yeah, I think that was good. I like it. So follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, like, subscribe, hit the bell, share, do things on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, rate and review, give us a comment. And until next time. Bye.
Pleasant dreams. Go. Are we
ready?
Starting?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
What? My face? It's normal.